Freebird. Elon Musk has officially taken over control of Twitter, ending months of legal disputes with a $44 billion check he cut. He is bringing big changes on day one. He fired the social media giant's top 3 executives who were reportedly escorted out of the building. I'm sure they're getting plenty of money to leave. Here with reaction, somebody who knows all about money, Forbes media chairman and editor-in-chief Steve Forbes. Steve, good morning to you. So what's the first thing that, aside from let that sink in, as we saw Elon Musk yesterday carrying in a sink, what's the first thing he's got to do?
Well, he's going to talk to the employees today and probably reiterate about how this is going to be an open platform. He's also got to reassure advertisers that he's not going to destroy the site, that it is truly going to be neutral in terms of opinions on it, and not have the kind of blatant censorship you had with the previous executives. And no need to feel sorry for those previous executives unceremoniously left or escorted out of the building. The CEO gets a $42 million payout. Right. The CFO gets $25 million. Jack Dorsey, who founded it, gets $1 billion in cash. So no tears need to be wept over this one.
Yeah, no kidding. He has even said that he overpaid. Is he ever going to make his money back on this?
It's going to be tough to make this rocket ship work, get it really off the new Twitter off the launch pad, because it was twice as much. Twitter was never a great moneymaker, even though it was founded years ago. Never enjoyed the kind of stock market rise that other companies that were founded about the same time. So it's always been trouble. But if anyone can do it, he can. But it's going to be slimmed down, and he's got to he's going to make sure that he's got an audience that's real, to reassure advertisers.
Right, and let's see if conservatives return to Twitter. In the meantime, let's talk a little bit about Joe Biden. He was up in Syracuse yesterday, taking credit with the Democrat governor of New York State for the $100 billion brand new Micron chip factory that's going to be online, I don't know, 5-10 years from now, something like that. He said, the president said that Republicans will boost inflation if they win the midterms. Don't the Democrats already have that market cornered?
Yes, and they're the ones who brought on the inflation, and the Republicans are going to try to fight the inflation. One of the first things Republicans will do if they get control of both houses is pass a bill opening up federal lands for exploration and drilling again. By the way, upstate New York, they don't allow fracking. They don't allow fracking in the entire state of New York. You go across the board to Pennsylvania, 50,000 people are employed directly and indirectly in the fracking industry that's really provided billions of dollars of revenue over the years to Pennsylvania. So that was a self-inflicted wound. But he didn't talk about fracking in upstate New York, where they have plenty of natural gas, and about the shortage of oil and natural gas that's coming here and around the world in the next 12 months.
Right, exactly. And Steve, don't you think ultimately when people go and vote, and I know early voting is already underway, I think something like 11 million people have already voted, it's all about the cost of stuff. We've never seen prices like this.
Well, that's right. When Joe Biden says it's a hell of a strong economy, yeah, until you go to the grocery store or the gas pump or have to buy other products and services. And it goes from industry to industry. Prices rise and rise, and wages are not keeping up. That's a fact. That comes from his own government. Yeah. 8% inflation, at best a 5-6% pay raise, and you're still behind the 8 ball.
Exit question, your prediction. Who wins the Senate?
Republicans, probably 2 to 3 seats above 50.
All right. Steve Forbes, he knows his way around a poll, and he's been in the business for a long time. Steve, thank you very much for joining us on this Friday.
Steve, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.